everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as the Enlightened Target, and this channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything and everything associated with those three main topics. Today, we are going to explore a topic that I know all victims of narcissistic abuse struggle with at some point. Could it be possible that narcissists actually believe their own lies? As we all know, narcissists are pathological liars, and if you've been exposed to one long enough, then you will likely have or will be struggling to determine if they actually believe the crap that comes out of their mouths. Because narcissists seem adamant that what they say is true. Their version of history is fact, no matter how many times they have rewritten it to fit the agenda that benefits them personally. So today, we're going to explore if narcissists actually believe their own lies. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am super happy that you're here. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in private narcissistic abuse recovery coaching with me, please visit my website or send me an email. Both are linked in the description below. Or if you are wanting to get in touch with an online therapist, I am now partnering with BetterHelp, and I have a link in the description that will get you in contact with a qualified therapist. So today we are going to explore if narcissists actually believe their own lies. So many of us struggle with this because narcissists lie so much. But at the same time, they tend to seem as though they genuinely believe the lies that they are telling. In order to understand this, first we must understand that narcissists do not think or reason as other people do. It's really important that victims understand this first and foremost. Everything they do, everything that is important to them, comes from a place of protecting their fragile ego, protecting the image of the false self that they believe that they are. That is their basic primary psychological need, and many times this is at a subconscious level. All people have unconscious defense mechanisms as well as have cognitive distortions to a degree. Cognitive distortions are basically the ways that our mind convinces us something that really isn't true. For example, victims of narcissistic abuse will experience cognitive dissonance about the narcissist, which means we are struggling to understand if the narcissist is the wonderful person we fell in love with or the abusive, cruel version that we also see from time to time. Cognitive dissonance is a cognitive distortion and a natural consequence to being subjected to intermittent reinforcement or the cycles of abuse. Narcissists, however, have superhuman levels of unconscious defense mechanisms and extreme and severe cognitive distortions. Remember, a narcissist's most basic primal survival need is grounded in protecting their fragile ego and false self. Extreme cognitive distortions and very strong unconscious defense mechanisms change a person's perceptions of an experience. And for people with narcissistic personality disorder, their cognitive distortions and defense mechanisms' most important job is to alter reality to a narrative that protects their fragile ego. Therefore, the question becomes, is it the truth if reality has been distorted by these defense mechanisms? And for the narcissist, the answer is yes. Let me give you an example. Stay here with me. Let's say you're playing cards on a team with the narcissist against another couple. And let's say that the narcissist makes a mistake and plays a hand that loses the entire game for the two of you. Instead of the narcissist owning up to the fact that he or she made a mistake and lost the game, They might blow up at you for the way that you played the previous hand as the reason that he or she actually lost the game. They will maximize any and all mistakes that you made while downplaying and minimizing their own, and therefore blaming you solely for being the reason the two of you lost the card game. Is that actually what happened? No, it's not. Does the narcissist accept this version of reality as truth? Yes, they do. This is an example of how the subconscious defense mechanisms and cognitive distortions operate. It's important to note that normal, healthy people will work very hard to be aware of cognitive distortions and defenses so that they can be objective and have insight to what is actually going on. Insight, self-awareness, and a capacity for introspection allow a person to capture an honest reflection of themselves or a situation. In fact, the foundation of a person with a healthy defense structure is insight. This allows a healthy person to objectively evaluate themselves, sincerely admit to being at fault if they determine that they are, feel true remorse, learn from the mistake, and evolve. The healthy person may have a unique perception of an event, but it will be closely tied to reality because his or her perceptions is not impacted by these incredibly high levels of unconscious defense structures or overactive cognitive distortions. However, the person with narcissistic personality disorders perceptions will be, and his or her unique perception of an event may not have any resemblance of what actually happened. Again, these defense mechanisms in a narcissist are designed to protect their fragile ego first and foremost and at all costs. So now the question becomes, if the narcissist lacks insight and the ability to self-reflect and doesn't realize their subconscious defense mechanisms and cognitive distortions are causing their beliefs and perceptions to be untrue or not grounded in reality of what actually happened, how can they be held accountable if they honestly are unaware? And the answer to this is layered. I also believe that the answer will be somewhat dependent on where the narcissist is on the spectrum as well as their intelligence. The narcissist may not be aware that they have these rigid defense mechanisms or distortions, but they do know right from wrong. So he or she is aware that their behavior is abusive and that abusive behavior is wrong. However, in the narcissist's mind, their abusive behavior is justified because of their cognitive distortions that inflate their self-importance. Does that make sense? And remember, there is a delusional aspect to how narcissists think, and I do believe this is a big part of their delusional thinking. They may not be aware that they have distorted reality in order to protect their fragile ego, but they know that their abusive behavior towards you or other people is wrong. They know right from wrong, but they believe that they are entitled to behave in this manner. Their distortions and delusional beliefs about themselves justifies their abusive behavior in their minds. Again, remember, at the core of their personality traits are the 3 E's. They are entitled, they lack empathy, and they are exploitative. So to really understand this, you have to understand that it's layered. There are many different aspects to this that all play a role. So in closing, the narcissist is aware of his or her behavior, but more than likely unaware of the psychological mechanisms that drive and justify the behavior, which leaves a victim in a pretty hopeless predicament if they believe they are in love with the narcissist and are hoping there is a possibility that they can realize these things and change. For a person with narcissistic personality disorder, the chances of them actually caring enough to learn about these things, which would be necessary in order for them to change, is slim to none. This is why I encourage victims to focus on the things that they can change, which is themselves. Focus on yourself and your healing, not on the narcissist and the minuscule chances of them changing. Narcissists don't change in my experience. They only get worse. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The links in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.